Well, everybody, I wanted to take a couple minutes today to show you how to use labels in Logos Bible software to power up your searching, your highlighting, and really help you take your study to a deeper level. You probably know that whenever you're working in Logos, you've got lots of different tags, right? Lots of different labels here that give you information. You can see that Proverbs 23:1 is marked with eating and as a cultural concept, and royal and commoner relations, and it's marked with literary types, that it's poetry and all sorts of things. And that's great. It's very useful. You can do lots of searches and learn a lot of different things. You can find commands and all that. So like I can right click it, go to command, and I can search Bible, and it'll give me a chance to find all forms of advice, for example, and I can adjust these searches and stuff as I see fit. But one of the things that you can do with Logos that maybe people are less familiar with is generate your own labels so that you can search things based on your own study. Here's how you do it. You go to Tools, and you're going to go to the highlighting palette right here. It's going to open this up. I've already created one, but if you don't, you're going to click New Palette up on the top left there, and then name it whatever you want. And it's going to open up something like this. I've named mine Fruit of the Spirit. You can, in font styling, you can make it highlighted a certain way, change the font, change the colors. If you wanted to mark something in particular, you can make it highlighted with a solid color or natural highlighter look. You can even add images. So if I wanted to have an image before there was a fruit of the Spirit, I can click to choose, and I can go down and I can pick this little flame that they have, for example, and that would appear before anything with fruit of the Spirit, just like that. If you can even have a little text before, so I can say like warning or something like that, and you can see it can put in a little capsule. And so you can mark really however you want the things that you're highlighting. So you can make custom highlights like that. You can pick the color of your text and the color of your highlight and the font that it uses. You can really emphasize things in any way that you want. And because highlighters are saved to a notebook, you can show or not show them based on what you're doing. So you can make highlights for a specific purpose, turn them off, and then turn them back on, however you see fit. However, what I'm interested in is down here where it says labeling. So labeling is going to be right here. You're going to check this box that says the style implies a label, and you're going to put the name of the label. I like to make it all one word with camel case, where you use a capital letter for the beginning of each word. That way I don't have to mess with quotation marks and stuff. And then I'm going to put a little check that says prompt to enter attributes. So what I was studying was the fruit of the Spirit in Proverbs, and sort of how can I categorize the Proverbs by different fruits of the Spirit from Galatians. And I don't know if it's a useful line of study or not, but it's something I've been experimenting with. And I thought, well, I want to sort that. I want to label each one by what it is, and I want to be able to research that. So I could have used regular highlighters and colored them different colors. I could have just made notes or whatever. But the nice thing about labels is that it'll be searchable. So I can create two attributes. One is positive. So if it's saying do this, I'm going to put yes or true, actually. And if it's not, if it's saying don't do this, or this is what happens when you do the bad thing, I'll put false. Is it a positive command or not? Boolean means that it's going to be true or false. You can pick whatever you want here. Then for fruit, I've got fruit of the Spirit. And I want that to be a list because I just type love, semicolon, joy, semicolon, peace, semicolon, patience, etc. List the fruit of the Spirit there. And that will give me a drop-down list when I categorize a proverb, and that will let me find what I want to find. So I'm going to press save at the top right. Here we go. So I press save up here, and now I have this highlight. So it says, when you sit down to eat with a ruler, observe carefully what's before you and put a knife to your throat if you are given to appetite. So let's highlight these two verses. Then I'm going to go over and I'm going to click fruit of the Spirit in my highlighting palette. And it's going to ask me, how do you, whoops, sorry. Let me do that again. Click this, I'm going to click fruit of the Spirit. And it's going to ask me how I want to categorize those things. In here, okay. And so it says, is that positive? When observe carefully what's before you, put a knife to your throat. Yeah, I'm going to say that's true. It is a true commandment to exhibit self-control. And I'm sorry, you can't see that on the way I have this zoomed in. Unfortunately, when I do it the way I just did, it creates more and more labels, but that's okay. I can highlight it again. And I can click delete there to clear off all the labels that are on there. So I'm gonna adjust my thing just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I click fruit of the Spirit. I write true or T and hit enter. And then on fruit, I go in my drop down list down to self-control, and then I press done. And now these verses are labeled as showing self-control. If I go to my notes, I created a notebook for the Spirit in Proverbs, and I've been keeping my new notes in there. So I can go here, and I can add this to my notebook, Fruit of the Spirit in Proverbs. And then I can make, notes, say, this is positive because blah, 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 right? And I can make notes there that'll then be easy to find. And you can see the label down at the bottom, fruit of the Spirit, positive, true. I could have attached a highlighting style. I've been using a visual filter. So if I go to tools again, and nope, not tools, documents is where visual filters are. And I have got a visual filter called Fruit of the Spirit in Proverbs. And you can see I've labeled each one a different color. It's good to restrict your range for visual filters because they do slow your machine down a little bit. But so I've color coded self-control as green and positive ones with some angle brackets around them. And so if I go back here, you can see that it's marked it and it's used these angle brackets for each verse. And so now I can see I've categorized this as self-control. I could scroll down a little bit more. Do not move an ancient landmark or enter the fields of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is strong. He will plead their cause against you. I can highlight that, click Fruit of the Spirit, and this is an example of kindness, the way you treat others. And then is this a true example? No, it's saying don't move an ancient landmark. So I'm going to mark that as false. And again, in a second, my visual filter will update and color code that. But in the meantime, I can go up here and I can right click and I can go down and you see here my label alongside all of Logos's built-in labels. So this is really nice because I'm just going to go and I can go to search and click Bible. It'll automatically do a search. And so you can see the syntax right here up top, which is label dot, whatever the name of your label is, colon, attribute. So in this case, fruit, self-control, and positive, true. I could just search for all the examples of self-control like this. So it's label dot fruit of the Spirit, colon, fruit, colon, self-control. So label always comes first, and then a period, and then whatever your label is, colon, whatever that specific attribute is, because remember each label can have multiple attributes, and then another colon to get it. So I hit enter, and here you go. Here's all the ones that I have, self-control. So then I could do stuff like or label dot fruit of Spirit positive false, which would give me false ones or self-control. That's not really useful, but you just to sort of demonstrate some of the stuff that we can do. Now, likewise, I can actually right click this and I can find a built-in tag, like for example, imperative sentence. And if I click search it will let me do that. It'll search it. If I go up to copy reference search though, it'll just copy what I want. So if I go and here, it will show me where the label is self-control and the sentence is grammatically an imperative. And I hit enter. And again, just in moments, it finds that actually this is the only one that I've categorized so far that fits that scheme. So labels give you a nice, convenient way to structure what you have. You can use labels and make notes with them, because highlights and notes and labels are all just different aspects of this one same tool. You can create passage lists with it. So passage lists are kind of static in Logos, but I can do a search for self-control and find the chapters that I've categorized, and then click these three dots and click Save as Passage List, and it will open this up. So I can do self-control Proverbs, and then I have this nice little list that I can work through, and I can print out or do whatever I would like to for that. And so it's really nice. It has a few limits. For example, it's always going to list the passages as individual verses, even though I highlighted 2. That's just the way that these attributes seem to work. But overall, it's a really powerful tool in the software, I think. And I think that if you experiment with it, you'll find that it can do lots of really helpful things for you to help you format and structure your study. All right. I hope this is helpful. Have a great day.